The problem says Chef is a high ranked army officer and he has been given the job to train the army. The army consists of n soldiers where each soldier has three parameters: attack points A of I, where the A of I lies from 0 to 1000. Defense points is 1000 minus A of I, which is attack points, which is 1000 minus attack points. It will be given to you. Soldier type would be either attack or defense. Okay, so for the whole army, attack value of the army is defined as the sum of attack points of all attack type soldiers. Defense value of the army is defined as the sum of defense points of all defense type soldiers. Rating of the army is defined as the product of attack value and defense value of the army. Okay, so your rating would be the product of attack value and defense value of the entire army. Okay, and what you have to do, you have to assign the soldier type to each of the soldiers to maximize the rating of the army. Print the maximum, right? So you would be given some attack points and you have to assign those soldiers would be attack or in a defense part, and in that way you have to get your attack values and defense value in such a way that your rating is maximized, because your rating would be the product of attack value and defense value. Okay, so and you have to print the maximum rating. Okay, so your answer is that we have to print the maximum rating of it. Let's see the input format. Okay, so your answer could be of long big, and so you have to use long type. Okay, so let's see the input format. The first line of input will contain a single integer t denoting the number of test cases. Each test case contains of a multiple lines of input. The first line of each test case contains an integer n, the number of soldiers in the army. Okay, the next line contains the array ai, where ai denotes the attack points of the ith soldier. Okay, and you would be given the attack points of the ith soldier, and you know that defense point would be 1000 minus a of I. Okay, and for each test case, output on a new line the maximum possible rating that can be achieved. Let's see the constraints. For t, it lies from 1 to 100. For n, it lies from 2 to 1000, and a of I, for the attack points, it's lie from 0 to 1000, and sum of n overall test cases does not exceed 2000. So let's understand this problem test cases. So first they have given me two soldiers and with their attack points, both of them 500 and 500. And so let's understand this explanation for the test case. So soldier 1 should be used for attack 1, should be attack, while soldier 2 should be used to defense. Okay, so you have some possibilities that you can use any of the soldier for attack or any of the soldier for defense in such a way that in the final your rating should be maximized. Okay, so your rating should be maximized, so you can do both. So you can do you can check for all the conditions for that. If a soldier, all the soldiers are going for attack or all the soldiers are going for defense, so you can check for that both. So let's see in this test case. So soldier 1 should be should be used for attack, and while soldier 2 should be used for defense. Thus the attack value as well as the defense value equals 500. Okay, so because attack is 500 and the defense value, how it becomes 500? Defense value would be 1000 minus a of I, so that's why it would become 1000 minus a of I is 500 for the second one, so it would be 500. So 500 into 500 is 2000. It's this value. Okay, so when you will see over here. Okay, so let's understand this test case over here. So for the test okay, so for the first test case, you have given two soldiers which has 500 as attack values. Okay, and you have to assign the type to the soldier in such a way that your attack value and defense value product is maximized, because that is your rating. So in both the way, let's see. Let me make this for soldier 1 and this soldier 2. Okay, I am assigning it as attacking and this as defense. Okay, so my rating would be what? My rating would be sum of all the values of attack and sum of all the values of defense and both of their product. So the attack value would be 500. Okay, and for this 500, my attack value, my defense value would be 1000 minus 500, right? Okay, so it would be 500. So my answer would be 25. Okay, it would be around 2,50,000. Okay, so this would be my rating for this test case. Okay, so when we will see this test case now, so let's go for the next test case. We will understand more accurately. Okay, so the next test case is this one, 500, 500 and 500, third one. Okay, so here what we can do, either we can use soldier 1 and 2 should be used for attack. So the attack value would be 500 plus 500, which is equals to 1000, and soldier 3 should be used for defense. So defense value would be 1000 minus 500, which is equals to 500. Okay, so our rating would be maximized in this way. So how we are checking that our rating is maximized in which way? So what we can do, we can simply check for all the values of all the soldiers attack, and we can check all the values defense for all the soldiers. Okay, what I'm trying to say, so let us see. So if we do like this, so let's say we have given that third test case. Okay, over here, so we are given over here the third test case like this, 100, 800, 300 and 500. Okay, so it would be 100, 800, 300 and 500. Okay, this would be our test case. Okay, so first of all, what we can do, we can see that if my defense value and my attack value, their product should be maximized. So in general, if we have a small intuition that if I multiply two smaller number, then my answer of course it would be smaller, but if I'm try to multiply two bigger number, then my answer would be bigger. So what we can do is, like, first of all, we can sort all the powers in the ascending orders. Okay, in the descending order. So by this we can see that, let's sort by max power rating. So it means we will sort all the powers attack values by in descending order. Okay, so let's say 800, 500, 300 and 100. Okay, so when we will come over here and see that for this test case, so let's go for this third test case now. So they have used the second and fourth soldiers should be used for attack, and their attack value was 800 and 500, which tends to 1300, and the soldier 1 and 3 should be used for defense. So the defense value should be this much. Okay, so as we can see, the bigger values are for use for attack and the smaller one for defense, because we know that when we will subtract something smaller from 1000, my answer would be bigger. Okay, so that's why when I will multiply, but it's some type of intuition. But what approach we can do over here, let's see over here. Okay, so let's say first of all what we can do, we can sort our array in a descending order, means that from in max power rating order. Okay, and after what we can do, so let's say after what we can do, so let's say I have an array. Okay, so let's say I have an this array of, it is of length 5. Okay, so it is of length 4. Okay, so what we can do, we can use one soldier for attack and all the soldiers for defense. So in this way, and so in the next step what we can do, we can use two soldiers for attack and all the remaining soldiers for defense. Okay, in the next step what we can do, we can use 3 soldiers for attack and remaining for defense. Okay, so in this way what we can see that we are almost doing and checking for all the soldiers attack and all the soldiers defense, है ना? So because as you can see that all the soldiers are, because we will be getting for some values for that, and we can get the whichever is the maximum of that, it would be our answer. So what we can do, we can check for all the values, attack value for all the soldiers and defense value for all the soldiers at a time. Okay, at a time for all the soldiers. So in this way, if we will go by this method, so we can see this would be our approach. So if I am using it as this soldier for attack and all the remaining soldiers, so let's say I'm marking as 1, 2, 3 and 4. So I have a total of 4 soldiers. Okay, so I'm using my first soldier for attack and all the remaining soldiers for defense. So what would be, so it would be something like this. This would be 1000 minus 500. Okay, this would be 1000 minus 500, which is 700, and this would be 1000 minus 500, this would be 900. Okay, so in total this would be something we would be getting. Okay, so and this would be for 800, this is my attack value and these all are defense value. Okay, so what I can do, I can simply do 800 into what, 500 plus 700 into 900. Okay, when I will try to do this multiplication, I will get us this value. Okay. Okay, so in the first we can see like this. So what if next we can do? Okay, so what we can do, we can simply check for this, that we can use first and second soldier for attack and remaining third and fourth soldier for defense. Okay, so you have to check all the possibilities. I wanted to say. Okay, so let's use the first and second soldiers for attack. Okay, so first and second soldier, if we use, so first and second soldier, their sum would be 800 plus 500, which is okay, so 800 plus 500, which is 1300. Okay, and the remaining soldiers would be this one, third and fourth, so it would be 700 plus 900, which is 1600, right? So 700 plus 900, what it be 1600. So 1600, so it would be something like this, 208. Okay, if we will do like this, and at last what we can check for one more, it's like that, for one more check we can see that we will be using first, second and third soldier for attack and the remaining soldier for defense. So in this way now, what we are actually doing, we are checking for all the soldiers attack type, for all the soldiers we are checking for their attack, and all the soldiers we are checking for their defense, and checking all the possibilities of their product, and whichever is the maximum now, we are getting that as answer. Okay, so let's check for third one. So if we will check for it now, so if we will check for it, so it would be something like this. Okay, so let's include this first, second, third for attack and last one for defense. So it would be like this. So 800 plus 500 plus 300. Okay, so 800 plus 500 plus 300, it would be 1600. Okay, and 1600, and it would be remaining, I am just using this one, fourth one for defense, so it would be 1000 minus 100, it would be 900. So when I will do their multiplication, it's very simple. It would become like the value would be something this. So by this now we can see that our this value, okay, so by this we can simply see that our this value is the maximum value we can get by checking for that this soldier is for attack or for defense. Okay, so as we can come over here and check what would be the test case this for this third test case. As you can see that soldier 2 and 4 should be used for attack, as we have sorted over here, so their sequence has changed. So but over here they can say they have used this 800 and 500 this for attack, and their soldier 1 and 3, which was 100 and 300, they have used for defense, and in this way we are getting the maximum wala part. So the approach which is given to us, which I have shown to you, okay, so we are gonna use the same approach in our code. Okay, so we are simply gonna use the same approach in a code. So what we will do, simply first of all we will sort by max power rating, and we will iterate on all the power rating, and after that adding every soldier that you came across, and let that we use that soldier for defense. Okay, so what we can do, we can check for first of all we can check for all the soldiers for their attack and defense values. Okay, so first of all we can do is that I will check the first soldier for attack and all the soldier for defense, and the second I can do, I can check for the second two soldiers, first and second soldier for their attack and the remaining for defense, and third for attack and 3 for attacks for the next step, and all the remaining for defense. And in this way I can check for all the possibilities, and whichever is the maximum, it would be my answer. So check which of these gave me maximum total rating, that would be my answer. Okay, so if you are still not able to clear your doubt and you still have some doubt, so what you can do, you can simply come over here. Okay, and you can click over here. Okay, so okay, so if you have a doubt, so what you can do, you can select some level of problem. So let's say I am selecting this level of problem. Okay, so let me select some problem. So I am selecting this problem. Okay, so you can come over here and select this problem, and try to read the problem and try to get the problem. If you are still not getting that problem, how to solve it, what you can do, you can come over here and click on this ask a doubt, and you can see a pop-up of this tab is over there. So you can click over this, okay, and start your doubt session with this, and your doubt would be solved instantly. Okay, so now let's go to our question and let's have a short recap of it. Okay, so the question over here was that the chef is a high rank army officer, and he has given the job to train the army. The army consists of n soldier, where each soldier has three parameters. Okay, attack points which lies a of I from 0 to 1000, and defense point would be 1000 minus a of I which is the attack points, and every soldier can either be of attack or defense type. Okay, so in this way what we are actually doing, we are actually checking for each and every soldier for their attack and defense point, and whichever their product is getting me the maximum value, I am getting it in my answer. So this was my approach for this question, and this was my simple approach for the question. And now let's go for the C++ code of it, guys. Okay, so let's come over here. So guys, let's see. So what I did, simply I took input for all the test cases, then I took input for the n, okay, number of soldiers. Okay, then I declared two variable that is total sum, and initialized to 0 and sum equal to 0. Then I declared a array, and I took input for that. And after on, what I did sum of all the array, all the elements of the array. Okay, and I stored in this total sum. Okay, so after on, what I did, I sorted my array in a descending order. Okay, so in this way you can sort your array in the descending order, and I declared a variable named final answer. Okay, so in that sorted array, what I did, I ran a for loop. Okay, I ran a for loop, and okay, and this is a final answer I'm variable. Then I'm checking the maximum wala part. Okay, so final answer comma this sum is the part, so our answer would be what, sum of that. Okay, so what we were doing over here, as you can see, that it was sum of this first two, and if I'm selecting this third and fourth in the defense wala part, it would be 1000 minus this and 1000 minus this, and their sum. Okay, so come over here. So what I did, so it would be the sum of, so let's say I am checking for the first. Okay, so at start I am the first, that is r equal to 0. Okay, so at first I am at start I am at the first, and it would be my for that first ith index, it would be that sum of that. Okay, first ith index, it would be that part, and that into I am getting into that defense wala part. Okay, I am getting into that defense wala part. It would be how much? Okay, so in this what I am doing, simply 1000 minus n minus r, which is 1000 minus total sum minus sum. What it is, that total sum would of the array minus sum of that current index would be getting me the sum of the remaining indexes. Okay, so simply, and this is n minus r, because it would be for particular ith index I am for one index I have to do 1000 minus a of I. So if there are multiple index, so that's why I am doing n minus r. N would be total soldiers, and r would be at particular that sum. Okay, at first if I am selecting that, that would be okay, so it would be total sum minus sum. And after what I am doing, I am simply going forward, and I am taking sum of the, as if I am including the first, and after that in this I am including the sum of that second soldier also, and third and fourth soldier as of defense wala part. Okay, so it will be, if so, when I will get the maximum answer, I will print it that in my answer. Okay, so this was just a simple approach for it, and this question got right, and this was the solution for this answer. Okay guys, so now let's go for the Python code for it. Okay, so guys, this is the Python code that we did the same. We just sorted it, and we sorted in descending order, and we declared three variables, answer comma left comma right. Okay, and we just did this 1000 of n minus sum of a, and sum of a, what it would be, it would be that sum of a what you have to subtract from it for defense wala part. Okay, and after on I am simply running the for loop. Okay, after that I am simply running the for loop. Okay, and after on I am summing for the first, and I'm taking for the defense all the part. Okay, and after on I am going on forward it. Okay, and I am, after all, is just simple, I am checking for the max wala part. Okay, whichever I am getting the max, it would be my answer. So guys, just don't be get confused of it. We are simply, what we are doing, we are first of all in this example, as you can see, what we did, simply first we took the first soldier for attack and all the remaining for defense. Next step, next what we can do, then we can use first and second soldier both for attack and remaining for defense. Next, what we can do, we can use third 1 2 3 soldiers in attack and all remaining for defense. So in this way, what you can see now, when we are using first soldier, then remaining all the soldiers are getting defense. So till then we are getting third soldier in attack, all the soldiers are getting in attack, and this is getting in defense. Okay, so as you can see that we are getting all the combination, all the possibilities. Okay, so after all getting all, we can check whichever is getting me the maximum, that would be my answer. Okay, so guys, so this would be my code for Python also, and guys, this was the solution for this question, and now let's meet in the next video. Okay, thank you so much. Bye guys.